We're going to go over to the last one. It's going to be Muss. We saved the best for last. I mean, Muscles is bringing up the rear here. Ty might not like it, but that's why we do it on this show.
Yeah.
So, Muss, it's going to be your post-NFL draft quarterback by. Who's it going to be?
Mine's going to be kind of a big boy. I got Trevor Lawrence, generational talent. They did have a really good draft. They brought in Brian Thomas, who we all really liked. He's kind of that deep ball, vertical threat kind of contested catch kind of guy. So I think that's what Trevor Lawrence needed. They did cut Calvin Ridley, which I feel like he's kind of washed a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they did bring in Gabe Davis, which Gabe Davis is Gabe Davis. I don't know how I feel about that one. But I was doing some research, and PFF rated the Titans supporting cast around Trevor Lawrence as 30th in the league. So, I mean, they definitely upgraded that. And even with the 30th best supporting cast, he led them to a divisional playoff game. So, I mean, this guy's a generational talent. I'm hoping he gets it turned around. And, like I said, I really feel like Brian Thomas can really help him turn that around. So, people might be frustrated. I know I was in the offseason. I traded him in a league because I was frustrated with him. So, like, I do know that there's frustrated managers out there. And I feel like this could be the turnaround for him. I feel like this could be the breakout season. So, I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, like I said, I was frustrated with him too, but
I agree. I think there's a lot of people that here's the thing. This is why you got to check, because a lot of people love him or hate him.
Yeah.
Like I see, like, some people say I would never touch Trevor Lawrence, blah, blah, blah. I don't necessarily play like that. I'm not in or out necessarily, quote unquote, on anybody. But where he's going now is kind of, like I said, this with Justin Herbert, becomes attainable.
Yeah.
And I think right now is a time that it's Brian Thomas does hit.
Yeah.
He's going to become unattainable again.
And you're going to have a full, well, hopefully, I guess we shouldn't say this, but like you're going to hope to have like a full season with Christian Kirk. With Christian Kirk, he was a completely different quarterback.
Yeah.
And I know we all watched a lot of Jaguars games. And if you guys watched them, it's like, a lot of them receivers were dropping.
I was just going to say they had a lot of drops.
They had a lot of drops, and I think Christian Kirk was kind of like that reliable receiver.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah, and when he got hurt, it went downhill from there. So, like I said, I'm hoping Christian Kirk can stay healthy. You're hoping Brian Thomas can come in and fill that void. Maybe Gabe Davis does a little bit of something. I don't know.
Leaving out Evan Ingram.
That's a
guy.
He's always solid, a solid guy. Now, here's another thing, too. I mean, his rookie year, he's quarterback 23. That's with Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody could fuck up a wet dream, it'd be Urban Meyer, man. I mean, then he took the big step. Quarterback 8. Even last year in 16 games, quarterback 13. I mean, that's not horrible.
No.
And, quarterback 13 in 16 games, you give him one more game, good chance he's a quarterback 1.
And that's it. Like, we know two players develop differently, right? Like Trevor Lawrence, there was a lot on his shoulders. Come in, be the savior right away. I mean, okay, we heard better prospect than Andrew Luck. Now, come on, you're throwing a lot of stuff on this guy. I mean, like, not everyone's just going to come in and dominate in this league. You got to give him something to work with.
Yeah.
And we are starting to see it. And like, I go back to what Andy said, it's attainable now. Like at one point you couldn't get Trevor Lawrence. Like you'd come knocking on someone's door. Like, I want like 5 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Like it was almost absurd. Now it's getting to the point where it's like, guys, like you said, maybe someone still loves them.
Yeah.
But you go have some haters out there too.
Absolutely. And they really need a defense, and to go Brian Thomas in the first round, like they need a defense bad. Yeah. And to put that on a receiver and take Brian Thomas, I think that shows you like they want to try to get him help.
Yeah, like here's another thing. Like I could see like 5 years from now, you definitely think Trevor Lawrence is a starter.
I do.
How many quarterbacks in the NFL? Not many.
He's one of the very few.
If you look 5 years from now, how many of these 32 starting quarterbacks are still going to be a starting quarterback?
Yeah, there's not many guarantees.
I'd like to go through a list at some point and do that, because I definitely, I don't want to say like 100%. Like, of course, 5 years is a while from now. Right. Anything can happen, but on
like a 90% chance.
Yeah, I think there's a 90% chance, bearing an injury or something crazy.
Right.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, there's not many quarterbacks that you
Let-
can look 5 years from
Let's
now.
say Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy, and I love Brock Purdy. I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
I'm not sure either.
In 5 years, does Shanahan just say we want to turn the page again? Like,
Well, and like I love Jared Goff. What's going to happen with him? And like we've seen Jared Goff before. Like when he left the Rams, people thought that was it.
yeah,
But luckily he rebounded. But I mean, it can happen that quick.
Definitely
Carson
can.
Wentz.
yeah,
When Carson Wentz had that season in 2017 or something like that, everyone thought he'd be around forever.
yeah.
I mean, it can happen fast.
And like even going to like Jordan Love. No disrespect to Jordan Love.
Hey,
We've only seen it, but he's only got the chance 1 year. We've only seen it for 1 year.
that's right.
Yep,
That's true.
right.
So like, is he the safer asset or Trevor Lawrence? In my opinion, probably Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're going on a pure safe,
Yeah.
I think
like
so.
safety wise, yeah.
And I think Caleb Williams is another one of them guys.
Yeah, I
mean,
do too.
Just based off of who he is, where he
Yep.
got drafted. I mean, like you got to realize that like there's more to players than just stats and this. Like, you got to understand like where they're coming from, where they get picked. What teams have them, what kind of hype's around these guys.
yeah.
You got to look into all that. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
I like it.
Me too. And I think we nailed these guys. I'm really happy with all the stuff we come up with on the receivers, on the quarterbacks.
And we kind of worked it up. Like, so I'm going to buy Aiden O'Connell, flip him for Sam Howell. We're going to flip Sam Howell for Will Levis, and then we're going to flip Will Levis for Trevor Lawrence.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're climbing the dynasty ladder, baby, one rung at a time. I love it. Yep, that's all master plan here at Dynasty DNA.